forecast was for rain, and quite a lot of it, which is not unusual in this part of the world. I was still alone on board, but I'd met up again with Will, who lives on his beautiful wooden boat here and there. And although there's a lot of work to do before sailing tally-ho to Mexico in just a few weeks now, there's one spot in this area which I've been told I just can't miss, and that is Princess Louisa Inlet. This remote fjord, known as Swiwilat in the local indigenous language, is said to be one of the most dramatic and amazing bits of scenery in the world. It would be a 40-mile journey up the steep-sided Jervis Inlet with nowhere really safe to stop along the way. Near the head of Jervis Inlet, there's a narrow pass with strong tidal rapids or overfalls which can only be transited at slack water. So the timing of our departure, fairly early in the morning, was very important. Well, this is pretty nice. We've got a steady 10 to 15 knot breeze behind us now, and I'm just sailing with just the jib hoisted, and we're doing a very easy 4 to 4.5 knots, which is actually just right. We timed this 30-mile passage to arrive at Malibu Rapids at slack tide. It's very critical that you go through there at slack tide, because otherwise it's impassable. There's too much current. And we left pretty early in case there was headwinds or adverse current. The tide is technically ebbing now, so I expected a bit of adverse current, but it's very light in this channel, and I think it's affected by the wind as well, which is behind us. So we're doing much better than I expected in terms of time. So sailing along slowly at 4 knots with just a jib up is just perfect. I don't want to bother with the main because we're downwind and I'll have to be jibing, and also I'm a little injured and I don't feel like hoisting it on my own right now. But it's beautiful. As you can see, it's raining, there's low cloud, it's kind of misty, but very ethereal and beautiful, and just slowly making our way up this long passage. So we're now approaching Malibu Rapids, got the sails down, and it's a really narrow passage. It's I think only about 40 feet wide at the narrowest point, and it is low tide as well, and hopefully there's going to be no vessels coming the other way. I'm going to do a radio call out to let people know we're coming in, and hopefully we got the timing right and there's not 9 knots of current. But excited to see around this corner. Apparently the view as we come in is really pretty special. Sailing vessel approaching Malibu Rapids inbound. Any opposing traffic, please advise channel 16. Right next to the rapids at the entrance to Princess Louisa, there's actually a Christian youth camp, which is quite bizarre to see in the middle of nowhere. We were a little bit early for the slack tide and could see a little bit of current ebbing out, but decided to punch through. It turned out there was more current than I expected going against me, but at least when it's against you, you have a lot of control with the steering, and although it was very narrow and a little bit nerve-wracking, we had no issues.
Wet, boy. Even wet.
So probably about halfway up this hike, I think, and we found this rock face with these quite interesting, very straight lines that look like they've sort of been etched into it. It doesn't really look like a naturally occurring part of the rock, so I could be wrong. Almost looks human-made, but I suspect it's not. But I don't know what it is. We thought maybe it could have been where a glacier or glacier could have been at this level once upon a time and worn into the rock, because they're quite horizontal, but could be something else. So if anyone knows what these are, I'd love to know.
Maybe there's another one up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see out the top. Get in the stump.
securite, 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 vessels or vessels. This is tally-ho, tally-ho. We have 2 sailing vessels approaching Malibu Rapids outbound. Any opposing traffic, please advise and opposite turn. Well, that was a lot easier and more relaxed than when we went in. There was barely any current and it was high water this time. We went in at low water, so the channel was very narrow. At high water, there's more width, there's more room, and of course a lot less current. So that was easy, and there's just a very, very light breeze out here. So unfortunately, we can't sail right now. Maybe it'll pick up later on. Hopefully, if it does, it'll be from behind us. In these inlets, with sort of steep sides, the breeze tends to always be either going one way or the other, up or down the inlet, and so it's usually directly on your bow or directly behind you, neither of which are great for sailing, but obviously directly behind you is much better. So if we do get some wind, hopefully it'll be behind us, otherwise we'll probably just motor into it. So I'm back from Princess Louisa Inlet, and as you can see, I've been trying to play the fiddle. Now this fiddle was actually made for me by Daniel Graham, and he made a whole series of YouTube videos about the process of making this instrument. And it's made mostly from the offcuts of the timber that we use to rebuild tally-ho. So it's a really special, it's a beautiful, unique instrument, and I'm really grateful. But when Daniel first sent it to me, I didn't have the time to play it or even to really talk about it. I was working every waking second. It felt like getting this boat ready to launch. So apart from a little bit of trying it out in the first few weeks, I've basically just been carrying it around with me until a few days ago when I decided to pick it up again and start trying to make some noises. And since then, I think I've probably annoyed most of the other boats in the anchorage. But I'm really excited to hopefully keep practicing and get better. And of course, Maris is a very talented fiddle player, so hopefully she'll be able to give me some tips. Now, I also wanted to mention, talking of fiddle and music, the music in this video was provided by Wayward Jane and Diwali, 2 groups who share some of the same members, and they've provided a lot of the music for a lot of my videos. So I'm really grateful to them, and I really like music. If you do too, check out the links in the video description. Go buy some of their music or go see them live if you're ever in Scotland. And I'm also looking for new music all the time. So if you're in a small independent band and would like to see your music used on this channel, get in touch. There's a contact form on my website. I do need the copyright permission to use it, so it can't just be some music that you've heard and you think would suit the channel. It does have to come from the artist. Well, that's about all we've got time for right now, but thanks for watching, and as always, a massive, massive thank you to the many people who have been a part of this project and supported it. So many people in so many different ways, and I'm really, really grateful for all of them. So if that's you, thanks a lot. It does make a huge difference. It means that I'm able to keep on maintaining and sailing this boat and making these videos. So I really, really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Cheers.